YouTube. What's up, everybody? I'm going to do a Toyota video, but before I do, I found 3 of the new Matchbox. I got the camera a little different angle. These are all brand new. The news van. What is this? Ford Transit. It's one of the plastic castings that they vowed they're going to stop doing. These are all going to be starting to be metal. This is just a metal base and a plastic body. So I found that one. I found this one, which I think is really cool. And they actually went back on this one to a metal cab. I think this had a plastic cab there for a minute. Metal base, plastic cab, plastic box. Now it has metal base, metal cab, plastic box. Matchbox moving truck, pretty cool. That pops open. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on these dollar cars. This last one is really dope. I have this casting, a couple different variations of it. This one is probably my favorite. The sheriff truck. Really cool GMC pickup. So I do collect Matchbox licensed models, which the moving truck is not, but it's okay. It is cool, so I grabbed it. Now, let's get into this. This is going to be premium Toyota, premium diecast Toyota cars. Starting out, I don't know what year this is, but it is a Toyota Celica. Very cool car. It's made by Aoshima. Now, personally, I don't think Aoshimas are as nice as Kyosho and Tomica Limited Vintage, but they're still pretty awesome. And I've got a couple others. I've got a Hakasuka Skyline. I've got a Nissan Laurel. I've got a 240Z. And I've got a Mazda RX-3. So those are pretty cool. So there's your Celica. Keeping on that theme with the Celica. Here's a Celica. I thought when I got this and when I opened it on video that it was a Kyosho, but it's CM's. I guess they specialize in making rally cars. And I want to say this is a 1990, but it is a Toyota Celica rally car. And it's awesome. You've got insert brake lights, a lot of sponsor badges that are really well done. They're very legible for the size, real clear. You've got the headlights opened up on it. Really cool little casting. So definitely happy to have that. One of the cheaper ones that I have, I don't know if I'd call this premium. It's a cool casting, but where it really loses any luster that it might have is in the wheels. This is a Tomica, or a Takara Tomy Toyota FJ. And pretty decent detail in it, but the wheels are just awful. And when you look at this from a certain angle, it just doesn't look right. But painted headlights, painted brake lights. Much better detail than you'd find, I think, in a Hot Wheels car. Really good suspension. Yeah, buddy. Ain't gonna find that on the Kyosho. Next is a Tomica Limited Vintage, and I actually like this one a lot. That is a Toyota Corolla GT. Really nice detail. Nicer than Auto World. Also a lot more expensive. Very, very cool. Very highly detailed. Awesome little car. I'm not sure what year it is. Probably mid-80s. A lot of suspension on these as well. Kind how awesome that thing would look slammed. They roll really nice. They're heavy. Metal body, metal base. So that's your Tomica Limited Vintage. Oh, and then going back into Kyosho, I bought this because I love them. First of all, I love these. There aren't any of them in the 1 to 64 scale. They are almost impossible to find. And it's the closest thing to what I drive. This is a Kyosho Toyota Land Cruiser. Awesome, awesome car. With awesome, awesome detail. Really nice roller. Awesome truck. So when I got this, I was kind of eyeballing the FJ, and I've also been eyeballing the G-Wagon. Pretty much anything that goes off-road. I'm more into off-road vehicles and trucks than I am into fast cars. At least in full scale. But I did find this Kyosho, and I gotta say, it looks lots and lots of times nicer than the Tomica, which is not a limited vintage. It's just it's not even the premium Takara Tomy line. It's below that by 1 or 2 levels. I got it in a 4-pack with a Land Cruiser truck, which actually I have right here. I'll show that. This came in it, and a Nissan crossover, and a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. That one's kind of cool because those are pretty tough to find in this scale too, especially with that kind of accuracy. So I got that, but this is so much nicer than so there's that. The bed is plastic, the rest of it's die cast. Doors open. I mean, it's cool that it's a Toyota. I'm partial to Toyotas. I actually really like Toyotas a lot. But this thing smashes, I mean smashes, the green one that I've got. So starting off, I mean, the big difference right off the bat is the lensed headlights, which you don't have in... Let's see, we can kind of do a side-by-side. And then the wheels and tires, you have rubber tires with big black steelies, which definitely look better. The ground clearance looks a lot more accurate, but even on the back here, I mean, look at the detail with the Toyota badge, the FJ Cruiser badge. You know, I almost bought one of these when I got my Lexus, and every time I see one of these, it makes me kind of wish that I had gotten it. I sold Toyotas for about a year, and a lot of Toyota guys weren't real fond of these because of the blind spots that they have. They're known to have like really bad blind spots. But off-road, these things are a beast. Even the spare in the back is rubber. Those wheels are so killer looking. Authentic looking steel wheels. I love the lensed headlights and brake lights and that Toyota FJ grille, which there's a lot of lineage with that look going back to the old FJ or the FJ40, or might have even gone back further than that. But Matchbox, the little Matchbox casting that looks kind of like a Jeep. You know, this is kind of the apprentice to that, I guess. But really cool little casting. These have plastic base. but otherwise are really nicely detailed, and it almost feels like a composite base more than a plastic base. It feels a lot stronger than plastic, but really cool. You can see on these how each window is a separate piece attached, and that can cause for problems, so you got to be real careful with these. And sometimes, like I know on the Land Cruiser, if you look at it right, you can kind of see some separation on the bottom. And I've got actually a green light Dodge Charger that's like that, where the window's popping off, needs to be glued back on. So that's just one of the things with the higher, more detailed stuff. To get it more accurate looking, they have to do that. But to do that, it's really hard to keep them from coming apart sometimes. So, really cool FJ Cruiser. I love it. Awesome addition. Now, this last one came today. I'm so stoked about it. But I have to say, I'm very, very nervous when I took it out of the box because, what year is this from? I don't know. Only about 10% of the text is in English. 2005, so it's 12 years old. And it's got a Hot Wheels style rubber band on it that makes me very, very nervous, because you can see where it's started to fuse to the car. So it's the brand is Tamiya. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Tamiya 1/64 scale. I found this in a Kyosho search. So the brand I was searching for was Kyosho, and they did list it in the description to try to attract more eBay users, and it worked because I found it. And when I saw it on camera and I saw the close-ups, it was hard for me to believe that this was actually 1/64 scale. Alright, so it's screwed onto a base just like all of them, but they put a piece of tape over the screw, or the head of the screw on the base, so I had to take that off. But you guys wait until you see this casting. I'm going to be real bummed out if I go to take this rubber band off and the paint is jacked. I'm going to be really, really bummed out. Going to take the wind out of my sails because this thing is so gorgeous otherwise. I mean, this is arguably maybe even the nicest 1/64 scale car in my collection. It is one of the most beautiful 1/64 scale castings I've ever seen. Unbelievable how nice this thing is. How accurate it looks. Look at the back end on that. The spoiler, the clear brake lights, plastic base. It's a great roller. Not sure what I think about the tread on the tires. A lot of people complained with the best of BMW, saying that it had off-road tires. Yeah, kind of has that same effect, but nevertheless, an amazing looking car. They absolutely killed it with the car itself, the sculpting of the body. Now I'm going to try and take this rubber band off. So wish me luck here. I'm going to use my little Kyosho screwdriver. Oh, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Well, they came off in one piece. See if I can buff that out. Oh, thank the good Lord. This is a prime example of why you should open your diecast, because if that stays on the car long enough, it's going to destroy the paint. And it came off soon enough that I think it's actually, we're going to be okay. See, you can see where the rubber bands were, even on the top, kind of. But man, this thing is so killer. I love it. This side looks a little better than the other side. So, wow, that was, it could have been a lot worse, so I'm okay with how that turned out. But, man, I just love this car. I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm, over excited about it or over exaggerating how awesome it is. To me, this thing is totally rad. I have not seen anything else like this. I was looking for the Tomica Limited Vintage has a really nice Supra, and I don't know much about the Supras and the body styles and what they're called or what generations they are. I know this was I think this was a mid-90s Supra towards the tail end before they stopped making them. The one that Tomica has is a mid-1980s. Really cool looking car too, and I've actually got it on my watch list on eBay, and so I'll probably pick it up. But when I saw this thing come up, I was just drawn to it because I've never seen anything even close to looking like this. And here's something else about it that I just found out. 1:64 scale. 1:64 scale detail. This is why I'm getting pulled away from Hot Wheels and Matchbox, even the RLC stuff. These cars, I know a lot of you guys comment and say they're awesome, but my God, they're expensive, and how can anybody afford to do that? And I've actually had a few questions about that lately. So what I would recommend to you guys, and I know a lot of you guys probably already do it, you have to first of all decide what you want to collect and what you don't want to collect. And then if you're like me, you don't go out of the house without at least poking your head in somewhere to see if you can find something. Because what I've found, if you don't have hookups, which I don't, and most people in my area do, they have the Walmart toy manager calling their cell phone when they get a dump bin. I don't have that. So it's a numbers game. The more you get out, the more you look, the more you're going to find. And you have to take that stuff. You have to take the cars that have value, pay retail, and flip them. And you have to use that money to fund your hobby, or at least as much of it as possible. And I've been lucky this past year to make some really good deals on some stuff, some candy stripers and a 95 T-Hunt set. And so I do a lot of that. It's scalping. And I know a lot of you have a problem with that, and that's fine. But it doesn't come easy. I work hard to get what I get. And there are people that work a lot harder than me, that have a lot more to show for it than me. So that's what I would say. And try to trade. There was a story about 10 years ago where somebody started with a paperclip and traded it all the way up to a house. And I don't know if it's true or not, but he would trade it for something just a little bit more valuable. And then he would take that and trade it for something just a little more valuable. And you just keep working your way up. So trading is huge. You got to make the right connections. But, man, I've really developed a whole new appreciation for this detailed diecast. I mean, it makes me just want to put all my Hot Wheels in a box and put them in the closet. Which I'm not going to do, because I do love my Hot Wheel collection, but this is definitely the direction I'm heading, at least for now. You know, that's something else I've noticed. I've been a solid, full-blown collector for 2 years. I focus on something, and then whatever phase that is will pass, and I'll focus on something else. I've done it with Ultra Reds, Supers, Green Machines, RLC. The one thing that I always collect and I never stop collecting is Greenlight, because any Greenlight card that I see that's not in my collection I will buy. But right now my focus is Tomica and Kyosho. And when this phase is over, I don't know what the next phase will be. But this is one of those phases that could last a while, because there is so much awesomeness to have to get to and through. So how about those awesome looking 1:64 scale Toyotas? Anyways, that's the video. Sorry about that crappy video I posted last night watching Sons of Anarchy. That's what the background noise was. But I've had so much going on. I've had the Carney case for probably close to a month now and haven't gotten it up. So going to make that a priority this weekend. And the case that you saw in that video is going to look totally different after. But I just wanted to say thanks again for all the support. I really appreciate all my subscribers and all the people that contribute to the channel and comment, and all the feedback, positive and negative. And yeah, so thanks. I'm gonna take some pictures, get them up on IG, and I will holler at you all at the next video.